looking good, brother.
Thank you very much. I'm in my dingy basement. I love it down here.
Yeah, we did a podcast with Evan Senapani, and he had a similar setup.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, looking good. Looking good.
Yeah. All right. I guess the audio is probably pretty good.
Perfect.
All right. Well, we got
you got like a video game setup going on there. You playing Xbox just before you jumped on?
No, I got a triple monitor set up here.
Oh, gotcha.
Wow.
You got a spreadsheet over here, you got an email over here, and you got whatever the hell else in front of you,
So, do you do all your own like editing and whatnot?
Not for YouTube. For the YouTube channel, Tom does all the editing for that. But for Instagram, and I can edit as well, Yeah. So I do edit, but not for the YouTube channel. He does those.
All right, cool. So I want to start with who the hell are you? Where did you come up with this character and like when? Let's go way back. Were you an athlete? Were you a football player? Were you a gymnast? A karate guy?
Yeah, close. The last one is a good guess. Close. I was. Oops. It said, I'm sorry. I started with Taekwondo when I was 13. So my friend invited me to a class, and I started doing that, and I really liked it. And that's where, so my base is in martial arts. And then after that, I started finding these videos online of these people doing flips and stuff, tricks, acrobatic kicks and stuff. And see, I thought I was really cool when I did Taekwondo. Like I had a big head, like a huge ego. Yeah. I was like, I'm the fucking man, I'm like a purple belt. I'm a badass, And then I watched these videos of these people online doing this stuff. It's just like, it blew my head off. I was like, it was completely leveled at that point. It'd be like you think you have a good physique in bodybuilding and you've never seen a real bodybuilder ever in your life. And then you see a pro bodybuilder and you're just like, oh, I'm not cool anymore. You know what I mean? That's actually perfect that's a perfect analogy of how drastically better they were than I was, like at this stuff. They were just a million times better. And I was like, I want to do that. That's what I want to do. So I started teaching myself how to do the flips and stuff in the backyard. And then, after that, I got into weight training and bodybuilding, and there's more to the story after that. But yeah, started in Taekwondo.
So Nate started similar to that. He was doing.
Yeah, so I did, when I was real little, I was in Taekwondo classes as a real young kid, but I wasn't into it, just it never clicked. And then probably around like 11 or so, I got into Kempo karate and did that for 5 years. Used to do the competitive sparring, the form contests. You'd go to these events and do your forms and take first place, second place, however they're judging that, right? And
yeah.
Sparring stuff where you're not supposed to make contact, but you're like, I could have roundhouse kicked you in the face, so therefore I got a point.
Yeah, exactly.
Stuff. So how far did you get? Did you ever go to that level of like the competition within the Taekwondo stuff where you're sparring?
Yeah, Nate. So we did sparring and katas and free katas. So free katas, you have music and you do your own routine. It's like having a posing routine in bodybuilding. You just make up your own thing to music. And so I got to the second degree black belt in Taekwondo. Okay. Yeah, I did it for about 4 or 5 years as well.
So I got to ask you, with that background in martial arts, are you a UFC fan nowadays?
I don't really keep up with mixed martial arts. We were kind of like what you were saying. It's like sparring was, you just tap someone here. You just put your hand in this place, and that's a point, and the match ends. It wasn't full contact. So,
right.
Yeah, and the sparring wasn't really my favorite thing. It was the katas and the free katas, especially because the free katas allowed me to do acrobatic stuff. Most people just mixed up the same stuff they do in a traditional form and just put it to music. And then I was like, I'm going to learn how to backflip. I'm going to throw that in a routine. I'm going to learn how to do the side splits. I'm going to put that in a routine. And I was like, and that's how I got my side splits actually. Was I won first place trophies in that division, in that category. And I was like, if I get the side splits and stick it in my routine, then I'll get a bunch of first place trophies. So I trained it for 2 months during the summertime, every night for 2 hours. in my bedroom, my parents' bedroom. And I got the side splits in 2 months, and I started putting in routines, and I started just racking up first place trophies. So I was right. My plan worked. I have an attic full of first place trophies. I was like, that one worked. That was good. But, after that, things moved on. But that's how I got my splits originally. And that's what motivated me to get them, is I wanted to get first place trophies.
So what was your, when you were getting into, it's one thing to do Taekwondo for whatever period of time, a year or whatever, as your buddies are doing it, or this is kind of a cool thing because, there's Jean-Claude Van Damme movies that are in the theater and it's like the in thing. But it's a whole other thing to get to second degree black belt. Like you're really passionate about at that point to take it to that level. What was it that not only got you in it, kept you in it, wanted where you wanted to move up the ranks and put in all of that time and effort? Was it a self-defense aspect where you like beat up once as a kid and you're like, I'll never let that happen again? Or was that coming from someplace else?
I had a low self-esteem as a kid. Yeah. I mean, I just played video games and hung out at my house with my older brother and stuff. And, in school, I didn't really, I wasn't really athletic at all. And the football players and all the other kids that did the sports and stuff were in better shape than me. So of course, as a kid, you don't really know what's going on. You just don't have the confidence, And so when I started taking these classes, my confidence started to build. And it wasn't like, oh, I'm doing this to build my confidence. I just got such a good feeling from it about myself that I just wanted to keep going and get better. And I just got really detail oriented and just was really passionate about improving and learning new moves. And going up in the rank was, going up in the color of the belt wasn't like the only thing it wasn't what I was super focused on. I wanted to get better, and naturally you go up in rank as you get better. So, and the side splits, learning that and other moves and stuff, like that's just kind of like a natural extension. Yeah, I want to get first place trophies, but I wouldn't want to get it. Like for example, I entered one tournament and I was the only person in that category and I got a first place trophy because there was no other competitor. It was such a small local tournament. And I'm like, well, this isn't right. This isn't cool. I don't care. This trophy means nothing because I'm the only person that competed today. So it's like, so I still wanted to beat people,
Hey, so we were talking about this down in Nashville, and I cut you off because I wanted to do it on here.
Mm-hmm.
What does Jujimufu come from?
So I was 13 years old. So a lot of stuff all started like right around that age, 13. That's when I started doing martial arts. That's when I started using the internet too. That's when I started finding videos of people doing the same stuff that I was interested in. But I was trying to create a username on America Online. You remember that?
Yeah.
You remember America Online?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you type in a word or a name or something, and if it's taken, it puts a bunch of numbers at the end of it because that many other people have already used that username. Yeah. So I was a kid, and I was like, I don't want a username with numbers at the end. I want a unique username. And I sat there for half an hour and tried to come up with a name or something that wasn't taken. And they're all taken. Everyone is taking the names that I wanted. I wasn't thinking outside the box. I just got frustrated. I was like, I've already spent half an hour sitting here trying to make a damn username for this stupid thing. So I did Jujimufu, and it logged me in. I was like, okay, I guess I'm Jujimufu now. And then I just started using it to communicate with people on forums and message boards and bulletin boards and stuff. And then I just got to be known as Jujimufu, and I haven't changed it. So it's a 22-year-old name that I just made as a kid.
So it has no relevance, the wording.
No, it's just gibberish that a 13-year-old kid made up, and I just never changed it.
Wow, that's great. I thought it was a combination of something.
It sounds like something because that's what my brain did at the time. It just made up that word real quick, but it's decent because it's a goofy name. You can shorten it to Juji, Juji, which is easy to say and easy to spell. And honestly, with such a dumb name, it's kind of kept me a little level-headed, because it's like, how seriously can a guy named Jujimufu take himself,
But it also is very memorable. Once you know the name, you can't mistake it for anything else. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's different. Well, of course it was. There's no numbers. It wasn't taken. I took it.
When you go out to events, is that what people are calling you to your face? Are they calling you Juji, Jujimufu, or do they know you by your real name?
They call me Juji or Juju because they mistake the name. So a lot of people, yeah, the name has one I in it. So it's Jujimufu. And a lot of people just read it real fast through Jujimufu. And I would say a large number of people call me Juju. And that's fine. I don't care.
So when did you start the recording yourself on video? You know, it seems like, looking at your trajectory, it started off with just really cool athletic feats of strength. And then over time, it just got sillier and sillier, while at the same time being still impressive, right? That the active strength or the athleticism is there, but you kind of have this, you know, the silliness, like you have a current athlete Instagrammer, Blessing, however you say his last name, right?
Wadabu.
Yeah. And so, you know, he does a great job of putting comedy within sketches, right? And he's made a name for himself and really gone viral. Well, he's also an incredible athlete. You know, he has a fantastic physique. Talk us through when you first started making videos, were you just trying to replicate the cool flips that you were seeing and you're like, hey, I got that, let me film it and put it out? How did that come about from filming to now having the YouTube channel where it is today?
That's exactly what happened, Nate. You nailed it on the head. You know, I got a camera when I was like in 2002. I got a camera. I remember going to Best Buy with my dad and picking out a camera, and he was nice enough to get me one. And I told him the reason I needed a camera was to film my technique so I could see it for myself, which is true. You do a backflip or a 540 kick, a butterfly twist, aerial switch, swing through gainer, whatever the hell, you know, you need to see it and get video feedback in order to correct technique. But also it was like, you know, now I got this camera, I can start cutting these clips up and making these cool videos too, like these guys that I'm watching on the internet and like so much, you know? So it was both. It was to fix form of my technique and skills and also to create cool videos and share them. But you get a kid with a camera, man, and it's like, well, let's film some stupid shit, you know. Let's film us in a banana outfit doing this today. Let's film this skit idea. You start making goofy videos, and I've been making goofy videos and mixing them with training videos since before YouTube existed, before Facebook existed, before those words were even words. And then those platforms came out, and I was a little slow to adopt them. I was really slow to adopt them. People were uploading all my videos that I was creating and posting online on YouTube on their accounts. They were posting my videos. So a lot of the most viewed videos that I have are from people who had posted my old videos before I had jumped on the wagon and be like, oh, this is a thing I didn't know. And so in 2015, I mean, this is a long time. Think about it. It's like these platforms have been out for 10 years. It took me that long to figure out, like, this is where you need to put your videos, not on a website somewhere that you think people are visiting. So in 2015, I got an Instagram account and I started posting stuff. And then after about 6 months of posting, I figured out, oh, I just need to post the stuff I used to post instead of what I think I need to post that other people are posting, like pictures of them flexing and food and stuff like that. I was like, I'm going to post this dumb video or post a picture of me doing the splits or something. And then that's when it's like, okay, I get it, you know, and then things just took off from there.
What were some of the major blips? For instance, I have a friend of mine that's a semi-famous like blues rock guitar player, and who went from not signed, playing the shittiest bars you can imagine, to now selling out 8,000, you know, seat stadiums, and he's not signed to a label. He's done it all himself, and he can kind of pinpoint, at this moment I jumped up to this level, at this moment, you know, this thing. What were some of the key moments? Was it America's Got Talent, or what happened before that? What were there a couple things that went viral where you woke up the next day and you go like, oh, whoa, this is different now. I've got a bigger following.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. I know exactly when those blips happened and which ones did what. So the first one was, like I said, for the first 6 months I had an Instagram, I maybe got 2,000 followers. You know, this was back in the golden age of Instagram too, when you could gain followers really quick. So obviously I wasn't doing something right. Well, I posted a picture of me doing the splits and it got like 4 times the amount of likes and comments and stuff. I was like, oh, people like that. And then I thought, well, I'll do a video of me doing it with weight. I've never done that before. Okay, so let me up the ante. I did a video of me like with weight plates in my hand. So I had some bumper plates, you know, did the splits, screamed in my living room and stuff. And that one was like 10 times the amount of likes. And I was like, the engagement is telling me this is what people like. And I think this is fun. Let's pursue this further. Let's see how far I can take this. After a few more weeks, I come up with the idea to do it with a barbell overhead, and the barbell chair split video is my most viral video. I posted that video and I gained 36,000 followers in a day. So I went from 2,000 followers to almost 40,000, and then it just kept climbing up thousands of followers every week after week until the end of the year. So I went from 2,000 followers in the summer to 100,000, in December. So I was like, because that video, and then also when I figured out like, oh, I get it now, they don't want a filtered photo of me flexing in the gym using the preset filters. They want to see this shit. So I started posting my tricking videos again. I started posting lifting videos that were silly, and they're all performing very well. So I followed up that one viral video like, hey guys, I could do a lot more than this, and that's what carried it through. If I was just a one trick pony, I'd never be where I'm at now. But for example, the most followers I ever gained in one time period was when I did this video where I lifted weights underwater in a pool. And I've never seen this happen before since then. I remember when I posted that video, I was out of town in San Jose, and I'm walking through an earth fair, and I'm swiping down, refreshing my profile on my Instagram account. And every time I do this with my thumb, my follower count goes up 1,000, 501,000, 502,000, 504,000. 506,000, all the way to like almost 600,000 over the course of like half an hour. I was like, this is absolutely nuts. Like, I'm breaking shit right now. I've never seen you could just do this with your thumb and you're gaining 1,000 followers every time you swipe your thumb down. It was absolutely nuts. So that video that's a blip. When you're talking about the blips where you can see like this was a milestone and like what's happening, that one was insane. I've never gained any more followers in one time period than that underwater pool lifting video. And that was 4 or 5 years ago. So, it's videos like that have just kind of made things jump along,
Go ahead, Jose.
I said that was the first video I seen. I mentioned it to you when I met you. Like,
the water one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was huge. So listen, you've done all this. You're a social media superstar, and now you decide to compete in a bodybuilding show.
Yeah.
That's almost like taking a step back.
No way, Jose.
You're such a like in the public eye every day, but with bodybuilding, it's like you kind of gotta hang out and wait for it to happen. It's like you can't possibly post everything you do with bodybuilding, and it's not that exciting. So that's what I mean by almost taking a step back.
Mm-hmm.
And you're competing in the Arnold, right?
Mm-hmm.
Arnold Amateur. And what made you decide to do it? And what are your feelings heading into this?
So in the spring of this year, I wanted to actually diet down for the first time in a long time, because I've always kind of been focused on balancing strength, skill, doing viral feats of strength and skill, working with different sports. We went through an arm wrestling phase last year. We worked with circus athletes. It's kind of like a jack of all trades type thing. Like, where is this going? And it just kind of destroyed my body, and I hadn't focused on aesthetics and looking good in like years and years, because there's been times where I looked pretty good. And I was like, that's it. I'm just going to actually do a proper diet and diet down. So I dieted down on, the original plan was, this is going to be interest on social media as people see my physique change. People like stories. They like to see things progress. They like to see growth. They like to see people change. And it's not just viral videos that people are in for. They also want to see they're following you because they're following you kind of like a series on Netflix. They want to see it go somewhere. And if you're always doing the same thing year after year in the same gyms, and you don't have like goals that you announce, and they're just going to kind of get a little burned out. So it's like, I'm going to change my body. So I did. I got shredded this year more than I've been in a long time. And then Nick Strength and Power started covering me, and Greg Doucette started posting videos, and Reddit started lighting up, and our YouTube channel just started jumping like crazy because people were taking an interest in these changes they saw in what I was working with. And all these people were like, and my friend Antoine Vaillant, you've coached him before. Team HD with Dorian and all them. They're like, dude, just enter a show. Just enter a bodybuilding show. Just do it, and we'll help you out. And I didn't want to do one immediately. I wanted to, I wanted to do a good one. I didn't want to go to a high school, some high school in North Carolina in our bodybuilding show. I was like, I want it to be big, because I got a good following. I want to stand next to big guys. The best show I could think of was the Arnold Amateur. Is a good amateur show, right? So I was like, I want to do that one. I want it to be a challenge. Just like I said, I don't want to win a first place trophy if I'm the only guy that shows up. I want to go there and I want to see the best. I want to stand next to the best just because it's a good experience. So March is when we're going to do it, and we're going to train for that. And I'm going to make my body into the best it's ever been aesthetically. It's just, this is the best I can do. And that's what I'm going to bring.
So you've brought on Flex Wheeler as your posing coach, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're still trying to arrange dates and stuff to work with, to try to find a time to do that. But Flex has announced it, so we're ready to go. We're just we're both kind of busy guys, but we got about 20 weeks to work with. I think I need a good 8 sessions with the guy and supplement with some work with some friends like Antoine and stuff who are a little bit more readily available. Yeah. And then just do my study time, just like I learned how to do the acrobatic tricks and stuff by pause playing videos and teaching myself and running my backyard. I got to pause play these bodybuilders posing videos. I got to look at Lila Brada. I got to look at, Ed Kiramier. I got to look at Kai Green. I got to look at some of these guys who are really good at it and just kind of emulate and just kind of, work with it. I got to do my homework,
Right. So is there a nutrition coach, someone that's prepping you as well? Or are you doing that yourself?
I'm having Dorian Hamilton do it. So I gave Dorian my diet and he didn't really change much in it. He was like, this is really good. He just modified a few things. And since we're so far out, he wanted me to just kind of not get fat and maintain muscle for now. And then we'll just, we'll ramp it up as the time gets closer. But he wants me to get comfortable with the diet at first and the consistency of it, on a day-by-day basis. So it's going really well. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. I've always done my own diet. I always track calories and stuff, but this is the first time I've had someone do it for me. And so far it's been 3 weeks I've been working with them. And honestly, it feels like I'm still doing my own thing. It's easy. It's good. He did a spot on job of figuring out how many calories I need and stuff. So everything's great.
Yeah. I was going to say, we saw some photos of you from, I don't know if it was like a month ago, and you were absolutely peeled. Mm-hmm. And, clearly you have a good understanding of what you're doing, because some guys will get shredded but shrink and have no muscle left. Mm-hmm. You've managed to keep a good balance. Is this just trial and error stuff, or have you always had a background in fiddling around with it?
Man, I've been fiddling around with that for as long as I'm working out, man. I can remember when I was like 13 or 14, walking into a supplement store and be like, what's creatine? Whey protein. What's the best type of whey protein? How do I optimize? I was counting calories when I was 17 and 18. I got these calorie logs. This was before apps, man. This shit sucked. You had to sit there and go to the USDA database on your computer at night and calculate everything out. This is if you're changing your diet on a day-by-day basis. So if you're on like, these are my 6 meals, this is the amount of rice and beef, it's a little different. You don't have to actually calculate stuff after you got your base diet and make changes on a weekly basis. But back then, man, every day, like a 17, 18-year-old kid, I was writing down every single piece of food I was eating and logging it and figuring out the protein, carbs, and fat and stuff, and figuring out what foods work for my body. So yeah, I've been fiddling around with it forever, and I love nutrition. I love learning about it because it's not just about sports performance and aesthetics. It's about having energy levels so you can do things during the day. Because waking up and being like, man, I want to move all this shit out in the middle of the yard and do this stupid video, that takes energy. The setup and cleanup of videos will wear you out. And honestly, sometimes I think that's why a lot of people look at my videos and it's just like, they could say I can do that too, but they were too lazy because they're tired, because they don't eat right. They don't fuel their body right. It's not just about fueling your body right so you can squat this number. Look at this, it's fueling your body right so you have the energy just to like not procrastinate and just do things that are inconvenient and get work done, So, I mean, it affects everything. That's why it's so important to me.
Are you coaching people as well? Because I remember when we were in Nashville, you had a young guy with you, and you were like having him measure out his chicken, and you were keeping a good eye on what he was eating.
No, no, I don't coach people. I was just doing that as a favor to him to let him know. He's a strong. I think you're talking about Joey. He's a strong man.
He was a big
And
dude.
he's a big dude. Yeah, I was just, I'm going to do what for him and for any other athlete that takes what they do seriously, and he does. He's a very serious athlete. It's like, this is how much fish and rice is here, just so you know, in case you needed to know. It's just what you do for your friends who do the same thing. So no, that was just a courtesy.
Okay.
So what's changed about your training now that you're focusing on bodybuilding? As you're aware, it's not always what you have, it's what you don't have, and how everything comes together. So what's been your game plan? What's your split? How are you approaching this? As your main focus now is the Arnold and bringing the most complete package you can bring.
Nice. So yeah, this is what I'm figuring out the past couple weeks, and for the next couple weeks, this is kind of what I'm tinkering around, and it's almost as if I'm going into the lab to try to figure out, how to change this stuff. So far, it's almost like if you could take a look at what a typical powerlifter's training is, and it's like the yin yang of that. So a powerlifter, typical training for a prep is you do a top set, something that'll just destroy you. And then you do 3 back off sets of the same exercise, which will destroy you. And then you do an accessory exercise that's very closely related to that, which will destroy you. And then you do like maybe 2 half-assed accessory exercises, like a couple sets of tricep push down and a couple sets of, this push-up thing. That's all you have energy for at that point. So I'm doing the flip side of that. So what I've been doing, and I don't know what you guys think of this approach, is I'll start my workout with a conservative top set of a power lift, depending on what body part I'm training. For example, squat on leg day, I will squat 90% for 2 to 3 reps just to get everything firing. And then I'll jump on a pit shark and just go straight into isolation work. You know what I mean? Like a belt squat machine, all the isolation work, quad extensions, lunges, machines, and stuff like that. So I'm just getting the body primed with one power lift and then spending the rest of the time doing isolation work, just so my nervous system is super jacked from that warm up and that one set. And then I'll just move on to working on the isolation work. And as far as the split goes, I'm going to have to focus more on my legs, because that's, I haven't really done much isolation work for my legs in my time because of focusing on athletics and stuff. It's more about jumping and kicking and splits and stuff. If you're always destroying your legs with isolation work, it's kind of hard to balance that in a week. But I think they have a lot of potential for growth, because I've never actually spent like that amount of time, like working them in that way. So I'm excited. I've already started to see changes in them, sitting on a quad extension with a blood flow restriction bands and, rest pause and position changes and stuff. And the vascularity in the legs has just gone through the roof to start with. So it's like, oh, I'm already seeing new blood vessels being formed. That's good, So just working on weak points and finding the good body part split, which I think is going to be based around, making sure I get the volume in for my weaknesses. What do you guys think?
I think in 10 years, when you're my age, you'll be in agony starting with squats. It takes me 45 minutes before I can squat.
Hey, it takes me 45 minutes before I can squat too, honestly.
So you do a lot of warming up, light reps, light sets, probably 4, 5, 6 sets before you can do that 90% squat.
Oh yeah, definitely. Okay. It takes me forever to get into it, man. And I think a lot of that warm-up work doesn't really add to the workout time. So it's like, I mean, if you add in like 45 minutes of mobility and light warm-up sets to work up to a one top set, it takes you 45 minutes to do that. It's not like that counts as 45 minutes of your workout. Right. What counts as 45 minutes of the workout is when you're just moving machine to machine, just going to failure on everything. Now that shit, you can't do for that long, you know what I mean? But it doesn't, that's the workout right there. But that warm up and stuff, it's just like, if you got the time, then do it.
How long does your typical workout last from the minute you enter to the minute you leave?
Yeah, probably around 2 to 3 hours. But again, a lot of that time is spent, with the warm up and mobility and stuff at the beginning, good 45 minutes to an hour to get through getting things kind of primed and ready. And then, maybe not 3 hours, maybe 2 hours. 2 hours.
I wish I met you before that Nashville so we could have set up a workout.
Yeah, it would have been great. I love working out with you guys, you pro bodybuilders. You're all so different. You got all these damn secrets, man. You got all these like weird little tweaks and supersets and ideas, and it's just, you guys are gold mines. I just love it. I love working out with all these different people and just like learning things. So I would have fucking loved to work out with you, man, and
We'll
figured out some things. Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna grow exponentially because of the fact that you've never trained that way. Mm-hmm. So now, as you're learning more and more from different people, you know, like you just said about your legs, you know, you can make a huge difference because you're not just power training. You know, you're not just training for strength. You're training for maximum overflow of blood in there, and you're gonna get strong. You know. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you will continue to grow, and you're at the perfect age now too.
Yeah, I think I'm all right. Yeah, I'm 34, and bodybuilders, I mean, a lot of you guys do really well in your late 30s and early 40s. Some of you guys are winning Olympias in your late 30s and early 40s. It's amazing. And you know what's interesting about bodybuilding training, all the isolation work has got this stigma behind it that it makes you dysfunctional and makes you a worse athlete or something. But I got to tell you, that's all just totally wrong, because the moment I started doing like quad extensions and terminal knee extensions for my patellar tendon and my VMO muscle and other things, like really isolation stuff, my squat went through the roof, man. I mean, that stuff, it's like, what is rehab? You know, rehab is nothing but like light bodybuilding training. And what is that meant to do? It's meant to create function again. It's meant to get away from the dysfunction of having the weakness from the injury. It's rebuilding it by working on the weak point. And all these isolation exercises are like kind of like breaking a car all into its pieces and beefing them all up into the whole again. So the bodybuilding training is, I've always kind of done a lot of it, you know, not enough for my legs to grow them, but I've always done some for them for the functionality of it, but for my upper body as well. Dude, like all the stupid feats of strength I can do are just completely assisted by that type of isolation work. It works. It really helps you. If all you're doing is doing compounds and snatches and stuff like that, you're going to break something. And if you don't have experience working in bodybuilding methodology and isolation work, you're not going to have the toolbox to fix it.
That's right. What the bodybuilding training does is it works all the stabilizer muscles, all the assisting muscles. So when Nate and I first started training together, I would absolutely destroy him with like cables and flies and all the other exercise before we went on to like an incline barbell press. Mm-hmm. So we'd do 3 or 4 exercises, then do a compound movement. And by the time we got there, I mean, he was getting 185 for 8 reps. Now, you know, fast forward a few years later, after the training, you know, he can do 315. So it's all a matter of training your body and getting used to it. And as you said, you know, strengthening, it's like the rehab, strengthening all the muscles around it to make you stronger. He's way stronger than he ever was.
Mm-hmm. The other interesting thing is not only did I get stronger, I put on way more muscle. So I've been a trainer pretty much my whole life. I went to school for music, for guitar, and then got out and was a trainer, you know, day one right after that. And like all the certifications, NASM, ACE, all these things, they always have you start with the big compound movement, right? You walk into the gym, you're fresh, hit your squats, and then maybe do your lunges. And then afterwards, you can do the accessory stuff, exactly what you described, right? So that's sort of the standard that even the certifications teach. So that's what I was doing for a long time. And by the time I came to see Jose, my shoulders hurt, my lower back hurt. I had lots of aches and pains. And so when I started with his way, I couldn't hang the whole first month, right? So it was like, if we're going to do legs, we might start with 2 hamstring exercises, like a standing single leg. And that 4th set will be a triple drop set. You know, like 12 reps, drop the weight, 12 reps, drop the weight. Then we'll do a seated hamstring curl, 4 sets. That 4th set, a triple drop set. So your hamstrings are just blown out at that point. Then we go to leg extensions, 4 sets, last set, triple drop set. Quads are done. Your legs are already shaky. Now we start the compound movements.
Yeah.
And that's where we'll do the hack squats, the leg presses, maybe superset hack squats and the leg presses, a lot of that stuff. And I couldn't hang in the beginning. I had no endurance. But once I acclimated to that, the endurance came, the strength came back, and I had zero aches and pains because of all of that warm-up work before going into the big compound exercises.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pre-exhaust. You guys pre-exhaust most workouts?
Everyone,
Yes.
yeah.
Every one of them, yeah. I tell you what, putting deadlifts at the end of a back workout is fucking hard.
It is.
That's what we do.
That's the worst one.
You go into it knowing that you're not going to deadlift 700 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
So you just adjust and you do as much as you can safely. And your body doesn't know the difference if it's 700 or 400. It just knows what it feels.
Yeah.
So you're going to respond to that feel. You know, and that's something I had to come to terms with. You know, Nate, you're not 40 yet, are you?
39.
He's almost 40. I'm 45. At some point, you've got to make adjustments, or you're just going to continue to get injured, or, you know, you're not going to make progress. So I had to make changes right around your age because my knees started hurting, and it allowed me to make huge, drastic improvements between 34 and 40.
Nice.
And, you know, I won the Arnold Classic at 41. You know, so I was able to grow. I put on like 10 to 12 pounds of muscle between those years, you know, and being a dwarf like I am, that's a lot of weight. That's like 40 pounds on you.
Damn.
So yeah, that's something that you'll encounter as you get older. You know, you constantly have to change something.
Yeah.
You know, in order to be able to continue to progress.
I feel like it's the same way for everything. It's the interesting thing is like for diet, for example, people think they could just find the perfect diet. It's like a black box and never changes. No, it's going to change. You know, like your body's going to change. Something's going to change. Something doesn't work forever. It's the way things are, the peaks and valleys, periodization, ups and downs, everything runs in cycles like that. And it's the same for training as well. And it's the same, you know, and those things just change as you age. Like you said, I think a big part of what you're talking about is just being able to say no to people, whether it's yourself or other people. So for example, when I first started like get popular in 2015 and 16 from the social media stuff I was doing, I'd go to an expo as a guest. I have a line of people waiting to see me. And I used to do backflips with people and splits with people and press people overhead and all this stuff. I was like a circus animal, you know. And the moment you start doing it for one person, everyone in line is thinking, oh, I'm going to get a cool picture with him. I'm going to have him press me overhead. And then it's just, you're getting destroyed by people wanting you to do these things and these tricks and these weird things for them, you know, in an expo for a picture. And the moment you tell one person no after all these other people, it's just like, well, you did it for these people and you feel bad, you know? So I just got to the point where it's like, it's just a hard rule for myself. I can't just do a backflip cold on concrete after I've been standing for 2 hours talking to people, you know, it's just stupid. And the person is probably going to think less of me, and the person's going to be disappointed because they waited in line to see me and they wanted me to do a backflip with them or something. But what's more important, that one person that I said no to, or, you know, my health and my career and everyone else that watches me on the internet that didn't show up that day at the expo, who want me to be healthy and continue doing stuff that entertains and makes them feel good, you know? So it's like, it's the same when you go into a gym. It's like, all right, well, I'm going to have to start, you know, lowering my squat poundages or this, or I have to move it in the workout. You know, I'm going to have to just check on your ego, because honestly, Jose, I think they care more about the way you look, and you care more about the way you look than how much you're squatting. So it's like, where's the trade-off here? I'll just move the squat back here and pre-exhaust. And this is going to, and changing your strategies, like you said, you got to change as you get older.
I'm glad you brought up that point about the expos and the appearances. And I myself have had issues where I was rushing out of the Olympia Expo to go eat. I had just gotten done, and some kid stopped me, or tried to stop me, and it was on video.
Oh, no.
And I was like, oh, dude, I really got to eat. And I said no. And then A minute later, my boss from BPI stopped me, and I had to stop. And I got trashed because I didn't stop for the kids, but I stopped for this other guy. And I'm like, dude, this guy is my boss. I had to stop. But people don't know that. They, you get trashed all over the place. And the nonsense, I used to have the craziest legs, like veins everywhere. And everywhere I went, I could be in a supermarket and people were like, hey, can you show me your legs? I'm like, I'm wearing jeans. Come on, you can do it. And I'm like, this is crazy.
I know, man. I got the same thing. It's like, hey, man, can you do a backflip? And I'm standing in a spot where it's like, how the fuck am I supposed to backflip right here, man? I'm surrounded by
You're in an elevator.
I'm in an elevator, dude. Like, no, it's like, this isn't like, are you thinking? Or we were at an expo, Jose, and you're running and someone stops you and they say, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bother you, but can I? It's like,
yeah,
well, you're not sorry. And I'm literally running because obviously people run when they're in a hurry. So it's just like, I understand people are excited to see you and they're like, oh, I got to catch them, while I got them. But there's still some sort of like, I still think we're humans.
Yeah.
And like, you got to get your meal in and you might've been in a hurry and you stop for your boss. People don't understand. All they feel is like, oh, he didn't stop for the kid, but he stopped for this guy. And it's just like, you know what? The thing that also bothered me is like at these expos, you can see 600, 1,000 people or something. And everything is great. Every interaction, you just spot on, you're high energy, you're excited to see people. And you just have one person where it's just like something just kind of like was a little off. You know what I mean? It's like, maybe you said the wrong thing in the wrong way, or they took it the wrong way, or you could tell you offended someone in a weird way. It's like, and then you're like, damn, like all you can think about is the negative one, like the one interaction that didn't go well. Yeah. And you just want people to understand like, oh man, you can't put yourself in my shoes. I know you can't, but you're just sitting with it and it sucks. You just have to let yourself be okay with it. Like, hey man, like, 599 people were happy to see me. And one person, I said the fucking wrong thing to the guy and he hates me now,
What people don't realize is most of us that have done this and sat in an expo for 8-9 hours. Have you ever done, what's the one over FIBO over in Germany?
No, I've done the Arnold for 3 days straight for 8 hours a day though, every day. That killed me, man.
Yeah, FIBO's the same, and it's even worse because it's like 4 Arnolds.
Oh,
like,
gosh.
That's how many people. The building, there's like 4 Arnolds stacked next to each other. So it doesn't stop. And you're literally there 4 days in a row, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, of 8 to 12 hours. And then you got to train, and then you got to try to sleep. It is brutal.
Oh my God.
But most of us are too nice. You try to please everyone because of that one person. You don't want to be that one guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then it gets out all over the internet. So when we met you, and I came over to you, were eating, and I'm like, listen, when you're done, will you take a picture with my boy Nate? And you stood right up. You're like, let's go. I'm like, no. I'm like, sit down, eat, finish eating. And people don't see that. I got to see it, and I'm like, bro, sit down, relax. You're like, no, man, let's do it. That's who you are.
Oh yeah, I mean, I love it. I mean, I'm excited. It's a privilege that people are. I mean, especially you guys. It's like, fuck, it's Jose Raymond, man. and Nate is such a cool guy. Nate, you're badass, man. You're very pleasant, awesome person. But it's like, I love this, and it's like, but for 800 people, it's different. You're gonna get tired. A couple hundred I can do a few hundred. Yeah, I can do that for hours for a few hundred. But damn, like you said, these FIBOs, like 4 Arnolds stacked back to back, and you got people who hawk around and wait until you're trying to leave. You're packing your stuff up. They waited all day so they didn't have to wait in line, and then they come over to you when you're putting stuff in bags and trying to leave. What kind of behavior is that, man? It's like,
yeah, they don't get it.
They don't get it.
You obviously know who Dana Lynn Bailey is, right?
Oh yeah, I talk to Rob all the time myself. I message him here and there. I've been over their gym. I've hung out with them and stuff.
Oh, they're amazing, amazing humans and brilliant people. A lot like yourself, they know how to navigate this whole social media stuff, and they've done very well. But we were in FIBO, and she needed to eat. So Rob literally had to pick her up and carry her out of the crowd. And he stopped at my booth, and he's like, you know, they're like, bro, we got to rest here for a minute. So she gets down, goes under my table. It was hiding with a Tupperware, eating under the table. And we had to stand around and pretend she wasn't there. They're like, where's Dana? Well, I don't know. She went to the bathroom. And she had to hide to eat her meal. That's how crazy it gets.
I've had to do that too. I've had to hide behind my booth and have people wall me off and sit there and stuff food in my face, you know, just so I can get back out there. I know that feeling, because the alternative is, and I don't know why this happens, but I'm standing in line. If I have a bite of food, and I've noticed this is really weird behavior as well. This is interesting. We're having this conversation about people's behavior towards quote unquote mini celebrities in fitness or whatever. If I sit there and I have if I take a bite of food and I say, just hold on a second, let me take this bite of food. No matter what happens, if I take a couple bites of food, they just stare at me. They don't look around. They don't be like, oh, don't look at, just give them a space. The next person in line will just literally stand there and stare at you. And every single interaction I've had with someone after I put a couple of bites of food in my mouth and set it down has been lower energy. I've noticed a person is just underwhelmed. Like, I got the front of the line after waiting, and you decided to put a couple bites of food in your mouth right when I show up. Not cool. And I noticed I can't do that. I can't stuff a candy bar. I can't take a sip of this. Every fucking interaction I have with someone when I try to eat is lower energy or negative. So I can't do that. So I have to hide. I have to be like, I'll be right back, guys, because you can't sit there and eat in front of people if they're waiting in line. I don't know why people do that, but they're not cool with you eating. They don't understand it. I don't think they understand that you got to eat. You know, you've been there for 4 hours yelling in people's faces over loud music from the booth next to you and taking pictures and hearing different names. You know, how many Kyles have I run into today? There's so many Kyles in Ohio for some reason. You know, we make jokes about that around here. It's like, how many Kyles were at the Arnold this year? Everyone is Kyle over there, but it's just, yeah, you just, it's a blessing. It's a privilege. And it's interesting to talk about it with someone else too, that experiences it on the same side, because there's so few of us on this side that experience it this way.
It's funny. A lot of people don't see it. They don't get it. They just think, you know, oh, you do what you do your videos, you train. No, there's a lot of times where you need to go out and stand for hours and hours and hours and greet people. Mm-hmm. Continue to, and sometimes they stink. And I'm short. They put their arms around me. My shoulders covered in sweat and deodorant from French. You know, every person, because I'm so short, they put their arm around me. And I just stink. I need a shower within an hour in there.
Yeah.
You're lucky to be a little taller.
I'm like right at the average height. I think 5'10" is like the absolute average height for a guy, I guess. I don't know.
Perfect.
Yeah.
It's like 9 inches taller than me.
No, it's not true.
Jesus. Yeah, it was funny when you walked in, and I'm like, hey, that's that dude. I was just talking about you, and you come over and you're like, I was all blown away that you knew who I was. You're like, Jose. You're the OG.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, I know. I know who you are since I was a kid, man. That's these bodybuilders, man. They're like, I don't know. They're like celebrities. It's like, how do you not know who this person is? They have such unique physiques. They're like cartoon characters, and they're all like that. I think that's why bodybuilders get recognized in public, and that's why people remember bodybuilders. Other than, I really think that people know more bodybuilder names than any other athletes, you know, in terms of fitness, just because bodybuilders are so iconic looking. It's just like, it's this person. It's just this person. You know, there's a million powerlifters that look the same, but bodybuilders are like cartoon characters, and they all look unique and different. That's just, you know, so I know the bodybuilders. I know who you are. I know you coached Antoine in 2011 for his Mr. Canada, and you're doing his diet and stuff for him. Yep. And he came and visited me. We've been friends for a long time. We've been friends since 2002. On the internet, man. So, when I created that AOL account with the name Jujimufu, I created a website called Tricks Tutorials where I taught people how to do acrobatic stuff as well. So my goal with that website back then was I want to learn these moves so that I can have a website with a lot of tutorials to teach them. So it's a strange motivation to do something, but also I wanted to create a community because I wanted more people to do what I did. I can talk to more people who did this. So I created an internet forum for it. And the first day I opened it, I don't know how I got so lucky, but there's like, 50 to 100 people jumped on it all of a sudden. It's like, damn. First day on the internet, this thing has like 50 to 100 people just posting stuff. And Antoine was one of them. Antoine was one of the people that posted on that forum. And the day it opened, he emailed me. And we just kept in touch since then. And it's just amazing that, it's just how we're still doing it.
Right.
We're still making videos. We're still training. And we've had our own unique paths, but we've always just kind of like, been intermingled with what we do. So it's been great, even in the ups and downs, Antoine going through rehab and stuff in 2012 to 2016 or 17 and fell off the face of the earth for like 3 years. In 2009 to 2012, I wasn't even on the internet. We still friends. We still got all through it. We're still doing, and now he's helping me prep for this bodybuilding show.
Awesome. I love it. He's such a good dude. Was he already doing all the flips and stuff when you met him? Or did you kind of help him get into that?
Yeah, I helped him. He found the website. He's like, I want to learn how to do this stuff. So he's like, I like all these tutorials you made. I'm going to learn this stuff. And he started teaching himself in the backyard like I taught myself. And then he's posting videos of crazy videos of him doing it, funny videos. And I'm posting crazy and funny videos. And then it's just like, dude, we're doing the same thing. This is great. Yeah. And then he starts lifting weights and stuff. I'm like, oh, that's hardcore. I want to lift weights too. And you get stronger. So we're lifting weights and we're throwing weightlifting in our tricking videos. So we're doing flips and lifting weights. And he gets into bodybuilding. I was like, oh, physique is important. Like I want to show my abs and stuff. And then you're like, then you're bodybuilding too. You're just doing it all. You're this crazy stuff, making videos, having fun, being friends.
That's awesome. That is awesome. He's a freak. I mean, 275 pounds and still able to move like that. He can still do a flip. It's crazy.
Yeah, he did a 290-pound backflip in March, I think. It just cold. Like he went outside in March. It's cold in Canada. And he sets the phone up. This is this year. And he sets the phone up on the ground. And he's like 10 feet away from it. So he's in frame. And dude, he's like 290 pounds. He's coming off of his bulk or going into it. I don't know which one he was doing, but he does a flip and the camera shakes. This was on grass. It's like, this wasn't a floor in a house or a gym or anything. This is the earth. He shook the earth. It's just like, it's crazy. It's like, dude, the camera went like this. It blipped. You shook the earth, man. Like everyone that commented on that video he posted on Instagram was like, what the fuck? You shook the earth. That's crazy. That's how big his backflip is.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So, Nate, you have another question?
So I wanted to ask you that now the business of Jujimufu. Obviously, you thought this way back when in terms of wanting to make a website, wanting to have tutorials. There probably weren't a lot of people your age that were doing that, right? Like so you were already kind of going this direction of using the internet, maybe not to make money back then, but to make friends, to help self-esteem, right? To find like-minded people. What was the last actual job you had? I think I read that you had like an office job. And what was, talk me through the thought process of, I'm going to leave this job and I'm going to be Jujimufu and put out ebooks and hope to get sponsorships, right? Kind of wild west of, I guess, until all those things come in, it had to be a little nerve wracking to put your career as a social media person.
Oh, that's a great question, Nate. So I graduated college. I mean, after high school, went to college. I got a degree in biology and chemistry. And then I got picked up by a company that was in industry in biotechnology. So I worked for a biotechnology company for 7 years. I started as a representative, then I moved to a technical representative, then a technical manager. So I just kind of moved up and stuff and had more responsibilities, as I stayed with the company longer. The cool thing about the job was that as a smaller company, it was more flexible hours, and there just wasn't that much work to do. So I had time at work to build a new website and start trying to figure out ways to write books. And I had long lunch breaks, so I can go on lunch break for 2 hours and work out at the gym right across the street for 2 hours, which is great. I need more than an hour. I need a little more time. And I was able to make my business during my work hours at this easy job I had. And it got to a point after 7 years where, I created products, and my Instagram following has gotten like to 500,000. And because I was focused on that as well, because I liked seeing the growth of the numbers, and it was fun, exciting. It's fun. I like to do it. I was doing it anyway. I've always done all this stuff anyway. The goal was never to monetize it or get paid. It just so happened that it got to the point where I started getting paid for it. Like the first payment I got was a check for the license video of the chair split. I didn't ask for that. They approached me and they said, we'll pay you for this. I was like, oh, okay. And then that made me some money. And then expos started knocking on my door and be like, we want you to be a guest. I'm like, oh, this is a thing. And then sponsors. So it's like, I didn't go after all this. It just came to me because I was doing what I was doing anyway, what I love to do, which is make crazy videos and work out on my lunch break, and make crazy and edit the videos at work when I got back from my lunch break. It's just like, of course I did my job at work, but I used all the free time I had to build this on the side. I didn't sit at work and look at Facebook randomly or buy stuff on Amazon. I was building a business, in my free time at work. And, I was just doing this stuff anyway. And then this money started coming in, and I was like, okay, I'm going to make a book and I'm going to make this product. So I launched a website in October, launched the products in October of 2016. And I made more money in 1 week than I did at my job for a year. So yeah, I know, that's what I said. I was like, what was the product? My book, my legendary flexibility book, which is still available, still sells well. It's the best flexibility book that's ever been written. It's just, there's nothing else like it. It's like, I know things that other people they've never said in this way, explained it in the way I explain it. It's good information if anyone wants to build flexibility without wasting their time and know what they're doing with it. So I created the flexibility book, and I sell a pair of pants products that are very unique, that are very flexible training pants. So I launched these products, and I make more money in a week than I did an entire year at my job. And then I have to reinvest that money into more product, of course. You know how it is when capital in any business. It's like you invest all this money in a product, and then you have to buy more of that product in order to keep selling. So it's like, of course, this money comes in, but I have to put it back into the business. I learned that very quickly, that just because the money comes in doesn't mean you get to spend it. You have to put it back into the business in order to keep it to grow, to keep the cycle going. Otherwise, you have no business after a while. You don't want to kill the goose that lays the golden eggs. So about 4 months pass, and I'm making this money, and I'm still at my job. I'm like, I got two incomes. I got my job income, and then I got my fitness business income, which is growing. And it got to the point where it's like, my job is I know it's an easy job, but I still have to drive there. It's a 45-minute drive. I still have to do things. I still have to travel for them about once a month. I still have to do this, and this. I'm calculating in my head the cost of actually having the job, the day job. Like, the day job has its costs. It's not just straight money that I'm getting rid of if I lose this paycheck. So I was worried about it and stuff for a long time. And then I sat down and did the math. I just got a spreadsheet out, and I put all this information in about the job, all this information and projected income for my future business and the way things were going. And I was just like, well, the job is actually costing me money to have. So I quit my job, and that was it. and the business flourished.
That's brilliant. You could have probably negotiated with them. Said, listen, this is what you're costing me to come in here every day.
Yeah.
I need this much.
Yeah, the company was so small, though, that there's no way they could have paid me any more money. That was the thing. It's just like they didn't have the resources to give me a raise or reward me in any way or keep me. So it's like, this is what's going to happen. I just have to leave. And, I love that job. I love the people that worked there. It was great. And it did so much for me. And it was, it did feel like I was throwing away money. But at the same time, like, once you sit down and you do the math, it's just like, well, that's just it. It's math. You don't argue with it. It worked. So
your YouTube is Juji and Tom. So who's Tom, and when did he come into the picture with your business ventures?
So it was interesting. Tom emailed me. We had connected and been friends about 4 years before I quit my job, and he did tricking and stuff. So we met through that, and he was working in New York, working with films. He does a lot of filming and stuff. So he's really good with movies and editing and stuff. And he contacts me, and he's like, "Hey man, I noticed you're trying to grow your YouTube channel because I was posting 3 videos a week." And it's like, I think we can take it to the next level. I think I know how to do this, and we can work out a business deal where, split ad revenue and stuff like that, and, promote your business and grow the YouTube channel like it's never grown before. And so he visited, we made some videos. This is early 2017. And since then, he was right. Basically, he was right. He knew what to do. Tom is a savant when it comes to YouTube with the way the algorithm works, with what people want, with clickbait titles, with thumbnails, with editing, with how to progress videos over time, just everything. He understands it. He researches super hard. He compares, he looks outside of fitness for inspiration, and grew the channel from, I think I had like 70,000 followers, and now it's like at 1.3 million. So, he figured out how to make it work, and he grew the YouTube channel the way it is, with, both of us working together on it. So, and we're still friends. We're filming today, actually. We're filming a video where we're doing the Rock's shoulder workout and eating a lot of cod, because the Rock has this mythical diet where he eats 5 pounds of cod a day or something. So it's just the video idea we have for the day is just to do the Rock shoulder workout and cook a bunch of cod and make a fun video,
You gonna eat it all during the workout?
God, I don't know what we're doing. It's going to go. It's not really what's on my diet, which is, but I have a lot of whitefish in my diet, but not all around the workout time. So I'm going to have to figure out what to do today with my diet in terms of staying on track with what Dorian has been doing.
Jose has one for you. How about, Jose, you'll know where I'm going with this. You eat 3 pounds of orange roughy and then work out with white spandex pants.
What is this?
You might have to explain it, Jose.
You ever have orange roughy?
Yeah, it's good.
It's delicious.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have even slightly too much, you're in big trouble.
Really?
Yeah, you'll end up with orange pants.
What, really?
Oh, yeah, you get leakage.
What? Really?
Oh, yeah. Ask around.
Really? Is this a myth? Like orange roughy, orange pants?
Yeah, it's my generation was big on orange roughy. I know Jay Cutler loved it, and we used to eat it religiously. And if you had more than 2 meals, I'd have 10 ounces 2 to 3 times a day.
Yeah.
And that was enough to ruin your life.
Really?
Oh, yeah, yeah. And it's just an oil slick. If you go to the bathroom or you let one rip, forget it. Your pants are destroyed. Whatever couch you're sitting on, your buddy's car, whatever. Yeah. So
damn,
give it a shot. That'd be a great video for you. You get millions of views there.
I don't think that's the first time I heard that. I heard someone make just kind of like a quick passing comment, making a joke about eating too much orange roughy. Yeah. So yeah, I didn't know what they were talking about, but okay.
The whole theory is that it's delicious, but it has like an undigestible fat in it that makes it delicious. But so it literally goes right through you. So it is an orange slick of oil that just falls right out of you.
You remember those Olean potato chips that came out in the 90s? Yeah. You eat a bunch of those and the same thing. It's olestra fat. It's undigestible fat that would just, oh God, that'd ruin you.
It's the same idea.
It's got to be the similar thing. Yeah.
Yeah. You'll love it. Give it a shot.
Okay, we'll do the Jose Raymond Orange Roughy Challenge.
Yeah.
Where every meal is 10 ounces of orange roughy.
That would be great. And we'll see who has the first accident. That is great. You'll kill it. So I got one more question. I know you're a busy dude, and we've taken up enough of your time. I really appreciate you coming with us. There's one thing that was quite touching to me was that you seem to have an amazing relationship with your dad, and he has his own Instagram page where he's obviously very proud of you. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
About my dad?
Yeah, he's an interesting dude.
You know, my dad is great. We have so much in common. I take after him. He's always been into working out. He's an ultra marathoner. So he runs these really long races since he was like 27. So he's like 67 now for 40 years. And he still runs these damn races. He's a 67-year-old man who'll get up and run in the morning, take a nap, get up in the afternoon and work out, take another nap, to get up and drink coffee and do yard work, and then go for another run and take a nap. It's just like, so out of the siblings, I'm the one that took to fitness. So, you know, of course, there's a connection we have there with the fitness stuff as well. But I don't know. There's just something about him. It's just ever since I was a kid, I don't know how he raised me, like where I don't know how a parent does this, but I knew not to fuck with him. Like he wasn't mean. He never had to raise his voice. I just knew like you respected him for some reason. It's like you respect him, but you love him. And I don't know how he raised me in that way where it was like kind of hands off, but at the same time, like I knew like he's my dad, you know, and he's always supported me and he's always helped me out and stuff and always taken an interest in what I did. And he really likes what I do now. He's really proud of me. I'm surprised he's like caught on so much because a lot of people don't understand like how you make money just working out all day. That's what they think, you know, how you make money just doing this, but he understands it. He really gets it and he comes up with ideas and he's really into it. So he wanted to start an Instagram. That was his idea. I didn't start that shit. He's like, I want to do an Instagram. He starts posting stuff and it's just like, this is definitely my dad posting on here. It's just, this is very much a 67-year-old man who just got Instagram and just starts posting. It's just like, this is weird stuff. It's funny. And it's just like, he's down for anything. He likes making videos with us and he comes up with silly ideas and he helps me out. And I talked to him for an hour last night on the phone. So, I mean, we have a really good connection and I love him very much. And yeah, it's just, he's the best dad ever.
I noticed that. That was, it was really cool to see. Now, is he, obviously you're very business minded. I mean, you're an intelligent dude. Did you get a lot of your business savvy from him, or is that just something you came up with yourself?
I appreciate that compliment. That I'm business savvy. No, I didn't get any of that from him. I don't, nothing against my dad, but some of his business ideas are like, nah, it's not going to work that way. You know what I mean? I have to tell him no a lot of times, like, no, it's not good. But some of his ideas are like, oh, that's good. Let's try that out. And they work out really well. So he enjoys being a part of the business. Actually, he does customer service for my website. So if anyone's like, where's my order? Or I got this thing and it was broken or something, then my dad is the one that responds to them. Like, they're like, what the fuck? Like, this is Mufu Dad, you know? He's got his little nickname, Mufu Dad. Are you really Mufu Dad? It's just like, you know, sometimes we'll get an order and be like, can Mufu Dad sign this? You know, like get his autograph, you know? So he loves it. He digs it all. He sees it all. He's like, he gets the high off of it too and stuff. But as far as the business stuff goes, no, I just, I haven't read too many business books. I probably should. This is just kind of me rolling my own, just figuring it out as I go along.
Wow, that's pretty awesome. I wish I had that rolling along. I seem to roll backwards when it comes to this stuff. Thank God for Nate, or nobody would see these videos.
It's good to have a team and someone to work with. I think that's something that a lot of people neglect. They're not willing to create a team and the partnership with people and the network and stuff. They don't see that as something they think it just happens. It's like, no, it doesn't just happen. You have to actually be like, this is an important part. Kind of like, you know, you don't really understand the benefits of nutrition until you apply good nutrition principles and you start feeding your body right. Just as you don't understand the benefits of networking and connecting with people and proper etiquette and partnership and teamwork until you're just like, you realize I should try to do this and make it better. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, things are working way better now. You know, it's not all about one person. It's the team that makes it, you know, it's the family. It's, you know, I wouldn't be where I'm at without my dad. I wouldn't be where I'm at without my friends. I wouldn't be out where I'm at without my wife and Tom, you know, who's doing so much for me, and all these other people that I just care about and they care about me. So it's, or, you know, yeah. So
I think a lot of that goes back to just your curiosity and then the dedication to, I'm going to keep going until I figure this out, right? Like going back to you learning the flips and the tricks and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. That same guy, I'm assuming, said, I'm going to figure out how to do a website. I'm going to figure out how Instagram works. I'm going to figure out how YouTube works, right? And you try stuff. It didn't work. What can I learn from that? How do I get better? That was why when I'm very much the same way in anything that I do. When I met you, I was like, all right, give me some tips on YouTube. I'm trying to learn this stuff for the first time to grow our channel. And so what are some tips you can give me? Because I know nothing about this, right? But same thing, just having a curiosity and saying, I don't know anything about this. Who can I go to that might have some experience that I can learn something from? It seems like that's what you've done most of your life.
So I just feel like it's just my personality type. I like to experiment with things. And when I identify an area or a thing that can benefit my life in some way or what I do, once it's on my radar, then it's like, it's all in. I'm researching it. I'm talking to people about it. I'm working with it. I'm trial and erroring. I just go at it hardcore. Like whatever it is that just pops on my radar, like this is something that's going to help me out, and it's just, sometimes you don't know, like you're not aware, like, maybe if I networked or was better with people, that would be something I could work on improving in my life. But once it's like, oh wait, someone just told me that I should probably like work on this. And then I like putting pieces together, like, oh, this is an area I need to work on and it's going to do this for me. Boom. I'm going at it really hard, So yeah, it's just tinkering and stuff.
All right, John, listen, we've taken enough of your time. I appreciate you so much, man. You're a breath of fresh air, and continued, luck with your prep. Hopefully we can stay in touch and maybe get a workout in.
Yeah. I want to work out with you. Nate, man, you got to jump in too. I want to destroy Nate as well. I want to get this. We all destroy.
Yeah, we'll come down. Where in North Carolina are you?
I am in Charlotte, and actually a really cool time to come, Jose, would be January or February, because I'm building a new gym in my backyard. It's 4,000 square feet, and I'm going to have about 45 pieces of bodybuilding equipment put in there from different manufacturers. And that's what I've been busy with all this construction. Man, yesterday was hell. It was like plumbers destroying power lines in my backyard, concrete being poured on slab, inspectors coming by from both the electric company and the water company. It's bananas out here. But once that gym is built, man, it's going to be the coolest home gym it's ever been. I'm going to make it the most iconic home gym over time. And January and February, it'll be operational, and that's about 2 months out from my contest. So man, that's you guys perfect. Come. Yeah. And Charlotte's a short trip from where you're at. So yeah, fly down. We'll give you all the orange roughy you need. We'll feed you all the orange roughy that's in your diet. We'll put you up in a place. We'll make sure you get your rest, your sleep. You won't have too much going on. We'll just get some really, really awesome bodybuilding workouts in a cool gym.
That sounds awesome.
My gym. Yeah.
Well, let's do it.
Yeah.
All right, so it'll be done in January?
It'll be done a little bit before then, but give it another month or so. January and February would be a great time to come. Okay. I'll put it on the books. We'll keep in touch. We'll plan for it. Dude, it'll be so good. No, really. I really think it'll be good.
Yeah, I'm going to love it. I'm going to be in shape by then too. I'm gonna make sure I'm strong enough to hang with you on those deadlifts and shit.
Oh, we do the bodybuilding workouts, man. You're gonna take me through a triple drop set, rest, pause, intensification method with giant sets, and we'll have the cheat reps and assisted reps and all the other stupid things that make things really hard for no reason. That just like awesome stuff. All the wizardry you guys know that I'm picking up on. I love it.
Kind of like the rubber band bench press thing. How the hell did you manage that?
That took hours to set up. It was one band. It was one band at a time. So I'd put a band on and I'd get in and bench press. I'd be like, I don't have enough support on this shoulder. I'd add another band. I'd be like, my butt's falling through. I'd add another band. It took a while. And then I got the perfect web.
You weren't scared at all? You had like 315 over your head, right?
Yeah, it was close to 300 pounds. Yeah. You know, what's funny is if you look very closely at that web press video, the last rep was not intentional. I was trying to rack it on the rep beforehand, and I couldn't get into the J-cups because when I pushed to get it into the J-cups, I was sinking further into the band. So then it came back down on me. And then the flight or fight response kicked in. I was like, oh, shit. like, I have to do this rep. I don't know what else to do. So I had to do one more rep when I went to failure, and I just had to figure out a way to, I went 1, 2 and got it in and just fell through.
I bet there's been a lot of situations where you've had that fight or flight in your videos and people don't know it.
Yeah, there's a lot more that goes on in some of the setup of these videos and the flight or fight. Yeah, but that was scary. That last rep wasn't supposed to be my last. That wasn't supposed to happen. I was like, fuck, I gotta figure out how to get out of this.
Do you have any problem getting insurance now with the stuff that you're doing?
You know what? Don't talk to my homeowner's insurance because we got a giant trampoline in my backyard. I haven't reported that yet because that's going to.
Oh my God. Well, all right. Thanks a lot, brother. This was awesome, and I look forward to talking to you soon. And we'll keep in touch.
Get that workout in next year, early on.
No question.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for having me on your podcast, guys. It was very pleasant.
Yeah. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.